Hey, before I kick off the podcast, I just want to shout out Next Door Clothing. Next Door, a clothing brand based out of Bondi in Sydney. They're making really nice jeans and shirts and hats. So go and check out their full range at nextdoorsydney.com. They're also artists, so you can go and check out a range of art. They put on rad parties, and I love what they're doing. So nextdoorsydney.com for the full range. I'm ready when you are, my friend.
Sweet, let's do it.
All right. This is for Clementine and Otis. Terrible happy talks. Terrible happy talks.
Yeah, give it to me, man. Whoa. Yeah, go there. Dude, I'm
Submissive dominant lifestyle.
3, 2, 1. All right, let's do this. Today's guest is Joshua Stanley, or affectionately known as Ranger to his friends. Josh is a father, sponsored skateboarder and support worker. Josh advocates for children by promoting better parenting values, and especially for fathers, and he outlined this profoundly in his TEDx talk that he did. So today, Josh is with me live and in person in his home in Canberra on a Sunday morning, the day after the 21st annual Belko Bowl Jam, to share his journey, experiences, challenges, and hopes for the future. Mr. Joshua Stanley, welcome.
Hey, man, thanks for having me on, dude. I'm psyched.
Dude, I'm psyched that you're psyched. And it's just been like an interesting weekend for me because like I haven't been down to Canberra in about 10 years, man.
Oh, damn.
But what do you love about Canberra?
It's just like everywhere. You can get anywhere in like 20, 25 minutes. So like skating spots is super sick. You don't really have to pick one side of town. You can just pin it from one side to the other. Dude, we're like 3 hours away from Sydney, 2 hours away from the coast, 2 hours away from the snow, and you can get down to Melbourne in a day. So, yeah, you're pretty much like right in the middle of everything. It's sick.
Nice, man. And you were born and raised here?
Yeah, man, for sure.
Nice. How would you describe your childhood in Canberra?
Like my childhood in general was like a bit up and down, but...
Why?
But apart from that, it was pretty chill, dude. Like it got pretty hectic where we were like, the house we're sitting in now, like this suburb was super sketchy when I was growing up, but now it's like kind of all yuppified, I guess.
It seems like that's happening everywhere.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's definitely happening where we're from in Wollongong, like just gentrification, you know. But I don't know what the solution is because, like, where do people go when they can't afford to live in an area?
Yeah, dude. But I think there was some, there was some study where I think when they do like community housing and things like that, they put, instead of having them all together in one spot, they kind of spread them out. And so it's more of the lines of like, well, if we put the, you know, bad people, which is not what they are, you know, they're just having struggles in life. You put them around, I guess, people that are working full-time, people that are, you know, having families and being supportive. It just gives them a space to try better and try harder, and that's, you know, super important to be around good people.
Yeah, I guess like it's integrating.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what they're trying to do. Yeah. Listen, I want to get stuck into something that I'm really curious about personally, and I know you've got some experience with it.
Yeah.
And there's the concept of cognitive behavior therapy.
Yeah.
And I'm just really personally curious. Can you give us a definition of what that is?
So with cognitive behavioral therapy, basically, from like my understanding and when I was working in it, was basically, you know, sort of the norm is, you know, you go in and you sit down and you talk about your past and you talk about, you know, things that happen when you're a child, and there's a time and place for that. But 9 times out of 10, when you're dealing with something that's happened currently, so, you know, a breakup, you've got anxiety about uni, there's a big life change. Sometimes your behaviors are the things that are actually stopping you from moving forward or getting over that certain issue. So with the whole cognitive behavioral part, it's like focusing on those triggers, and then you get those thoughts in your head. So like an example is, say you get anxiety when you go to the shops, right? So your trigger would be maybe leaving the house, maybe going to the shops for whatever reason. And when that trigger happens, you then you start getting thoughts like, oh, everyone's looking at me. I'm going to make a mistake. I'm not going to be able to talk to the cashier. My card's going to decline, you know. And then you get those feelings, which is just like, shortness of breath, anxiety, shakiness. You might blink a few times, or, whatever your triggers might be. And then it turns into your behavior, which is you don't go to the shops, you avoid, you shop online because it's easier, things like that. So it's just about recognizing that cycle and seeing what your behaviors are, and then challenging those behaviors.
Gotcha. That's what I was wondering. So it's like learning, cognitive. That word means to learn. So it's like learning from behavior patterns. And then being able to like make adjustments based on your cycle or your patterns of behavior. Yeah, that's really interesting, because how often do people actually reflect on their behavior patterns?
Well, it's kind of like, I guess, learning anything really. Sometimes you don't even know. Like, how many times have you been in a situation and you reflect later on in life and you're like, dude, I had this tick about like skating. I used to touch my fingers all the time to calm myself down or something like that. And you don't realize that they're just coping mechanisms, So not really often, but it was really amazing and really rewarding coming to the end of the treatment, which was roughly like 6 weeks, and just them coming in and just being so stoked, or even just being like, oh, like I know what I need to do to move forward. And it's like, so that was sick.
You did it. You had someone treat you that way?
No.
Okay.
That's just like what I saw when I was doing that role.
Oh, amazing.
Just watching them like shine and just like, they're just so juiced and they're so hyped. It's just like, yeah, dude, like I'm hyped for you, dude. Like, it's sick.
You seem hyped on life.
Yeah, dude, 100%.
Why?
Because like I've been at the bottom of the barrel, dude. I've had the worst thing ever in the world to happen to me. So, oh yeah, sorry, dude.
That mic's pissing me off, but keep going. It's not your fault.
Oh, sweet.
Keep going. Sorry.
But yeah, once you've been at your like bottom of the barrel, because everyone's bottom of the barrel is different.
Yeah.
And I've been to the bottom of mine, and I've had the worst thing in the world happen to me. And, I'm not sitting here saying like, woe is me, nothing like that. That's just straight facts what happened. So, to get pushed through all that and the journey that I've been through, it's just like, dude, life's super rad. Like, friends, family, the sun, flowers, colors, anything, dude. You can find the most beautiful things in life if you just really sit there and take it in, being present.
Yes, brother. Yes, present. Listen, like you mentioned that you had the worst thing happen to you ever, and like I'm always very sensitive to maybe pushing questions of this nature. But do you mind sharing that circumstance or situation that you refer to? But again, there's zero pressure. Please don't feel anything.
Oh no, dude. Like I've worked really hard on it, and sometimes I can get through it, sometimes I can't. So we'll just give it a go. But I think people need to understand, really understand about the importance of when you have a child and what it means and what your responsibility is, because when you lose it, it's gnarly. Like the shit that happens, Yeah,
I guess it's every parent's worst nightmare.
Yeah, dude.
And I guess under variety of circumstances, I guess when something tragic does happen to a child, you're left wondering, why did this happen? I think because your primary role as a parent is to protect those children, no matter what. So, were you left with feelings of, made a mistake, or you put it down to? What did you put it down to in the end?
Well, I think what it came down to at the end is like I can't control things around you. That's just life. You know, you can only control what you have control of, basically. But yeah, dude, there was like definitely, I mean, I still have days, like I even talk about it in my TED Talk, like I wake up every single morning and I'm like, that's the first thing that pops into my head every single day I wake up. So it's pretty trash. I can definitely tell you that. So, but basically, I had a child really, really young, when I was actually, she was born on the 21st and my birthday's on the 29th. So it was like, 8 days before my 21st birthday, I became a father. And she was born at 26 weeks. And like, dude, I could fit her in both my hands. Like she literally
Just
legit.
tiny.
Yeah, dude, tiny as. Like I think like butter that you get from like Woolworths or something. Like she weighed less than that. And I was actually down in Wollongong on a skate trip with my friends, and I got the phone call, and they were just like, "Yo, your wife's like getting like airlifted to a hospital, or your fiance, I should say." And I was just like, "Oh shit!" Like, dude, I got to get back to Canberra, and my friends were like still skating, and I was like, "Dudes, like we need to go now." And I don't think they understood what was going on, but I don't think I was explaining it very well. So anyway, once they figured it out, we like pinned it back down this hill, got in the car, speeding back, and it was basically like a decision. It was just like, you know, one of them is going to survive, right? And I was, dude,
So you weren't, just to clarify, you weren't given much information.
no.
You were just like, my fiance and child are being airlifted somewhere, but you didn't know. You didn't know why or what had happened. Or
Yeah, all I knew is she had seizures in the car.
your child or your
No. So this was this was my fiance at the time.
fiance at the time.
And she was pregnant. So she had a seizure.
Yep.
And that was due to preeclampsia, which turned into eclampsia. And yeah, it was like, just like, you're having a baby today, basically. And I was like, dude, like, I'm not even, like, I'm 20. Like, what? You said October, doctor. You lied to me. Like,
It's too soon.
yeah, dude, it was hectic. And
Because you do prepare yourself mentally for the baby, like, and it's because it's 40 weeks, you know.
Yeah.
So you start to go, and you need that time to get your head around it.
yeah, dude. And I was just like, what is going on? And like, I feel like I just went into survival mode. Like it was just like full fight or flight. I went into fight. I get to the hospital. My friends drop me off, and I like jump out of the car, and I just like run in, find the maternity ward. And like, I was working at the hospital at the time too. So like, I knew how to get there quick. I come up the lift, and they like open the door, and it was just like a thing out of a movie, man. Like she just comes past in the incubator, and they're just like, "Who's the father?" And I'm like, "Me." And then they're just like, I'm just standing there looking at this like little tiny creation, and she was just there, and she had so many wires and like things hanging out of her, and there was like heaps of doctors, and they're just like throwing all these questions at me, and I'm just like, I just let the adrenaline just completely take over, and it didn't hit me for ages. Like I was just...
So just to clarify, so baby was born early, was now in like post-birth in a humidity crib and being on life support.
Well, they were basically trying to like keep her alive, like oxygen and like, you know, all these tubes, and just, it was, hectic. Like I'm pretty sure, like I don't really remember too much, but I think that's my brain being like, you don't need to deal with this, dude. So we're going to keep the stuff that you can remember, and everything else is repressed, you know? So I'm still dealing with it today, you know, with everything. I still have stuff that I can't really remember too well.
It was just all happening. Huh?
Yeah, dude, it was hectic.
Yeah. So, and then what happened from there? Like it was all pretty tense.
Yeah, dude, it was wild. Like Lola's mum, she was recovering from surgery, and they got the baby out like real quick. So I was like running between the maternity ward and like recovery, just like running back and forth and then getting pulled in every different direction. And there was just like this crazy moment where like I was the first, like normally, you know, when they're born, it's like the mum holds them and then the dad comes in and that type of stuff. But I was like the first person to hold her for like a day or two.
Yeah.
And it was just so hectic. Like just so hectic to hold this little tiny baby. Like just being like, I am so responsible for you. Like this is hectic.
Do you feel like you changed as a person in that moment?
Oh, dude, yeah. Like there was a switch. Hey, like I love saying that to my friends that are having children. Like I love being like, yo, like once everything's settled down and we have a chat, do you reckon like I want you to try and tell me the feeling? Yeah. And like I could ask you that question. Like you can't really describe it. It's like everything you've ever felt in your entire life just jammed into one thing, but you can't put a name on it.
Yeah. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
You think you understand until you have one. I was just actually was saying that. I remember when my daughter was born, it was via cesarean, and so my wife was getting post-surgery, and then I had to wheel my daughter out in one of those trolley crib things with the Perspex cover.
Yeah.
And she was asleep. And well, she had her eyes closed, you know. And then I remember the nurse said, "Stand at this counter. I've got to do some admin stuff." And I just was like looking over, like leaning on the crib, looking at her. And then she just like opened her eyes and looked at me and like really worried, and then looked left and then looked right and then looked at me. I'm just like, fuck, it's like a trip, you know. Like I got goosebumps talking about it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
it's rad.
So just going back to your story, so yeah, it was intense, and
yeah.
I don't know how to say this as delicate as possible, but it's all respect.
Yeah.
Did she pass from there or
no? So she was in hospital for 3 months.
Yep.
Just being a soldier, like a warrior. Like they were just all kind of being really kind and nice to us, but there was a thought in the back of both of our heads being like, is she going to make it? Like all the doctors were like, we don't know. But she was just a warrior. Like she was just a straight warrior. And then got her out of hospital and, you know, the relationship kind of, you know, deteriorated for multiple reasons because we're both young and, you know, she was trying to study. I was trying to skate, work full time. You know, it was too young. You know, straight up, we were just too young, and we split. And like the story about us splitting, hindsight, it's kind of funny story now, but I came back from the dentist on my birthday,
right.
and I was jacked up, dude. Like I got like a couple teeth ripped out,
painkillers and stuff.
Yeah, dude, I was like fried, and I like walk up the balcony at the house we were living at the time, and she was like having a smoke, and she like never smoked. The only time she ever had like, I guess, a cigarette or whatever was when she was like super stressed. So I was like, yo, what's going on? Like, are you all right? And she was just like, I can't do this anymore. And I was just like, what? You mean you can't do this anymore? Like I was like,
your mouth was numb.
full of all like, yeah. And so anyway, yeah, like, you know, it's a sad story, but like now hindsight, I look at it, I think that's hilarious. Like just that was my reaction. Like, like I was so cooked, dude. Like I was coming back because I have.
You couldn't even have a breakup conversation.
Yeah, dude. And because I'm so scared of being at the dentist, I had like sedatives before I went in.
Dentists.
Yeah, dude. Garbage.
They suck.
So yeah, I had like sedatives and like just painkillers, and it was just gnarly. Like it was hectic. But anyway, and it was like a real messy breakup, and I think that was just because, you know, both of us were young, and it became like personal. Like it was like, you hurt me, I hurt you type stuff, right? So, and you know, we're all good now. Like we, you know, like I'll every now and again, like we'll have a talk, we'll have a conversation. She's in town, you know, she'll recently she's actually been going through all of Lola's stuff that she's had in storage, and we've been really good about, hey, do you want this, do you want that, like type stuff. So yeah, that's really good, and we're slowly getting through it all, and it's pretty intense. But so she was probably like, it was she was coming up to like her third birthday, and her mum moved up to Goulburn, and so that's like a good hour away from Canberra. And I had her every like second weekend, and we were starting to go through the child court system, and it was just like, it was a beat down, hey, like just constant, like there's no rules, laws around like taking kids, moving them interstate until the court stuff starts, from my knowledge. Might have changed now, but yeah, so Friday rolled around and that was when I got her.
Just, sorry, on a side note, in that instance, because I am aware that a lot of people are affected by the family law court system in Australia, did you, as a male, did you feel disadvantaged in that system?
Yeah, dude, like I went to a lawyer because I was like, yo, I need to, I want to, do this and I have to get a lawyer and stuff. And it was just like, the lawyer just looked me dead in the face and just went, how much money have you got? And I was like, dude, I'm 21 years old. Like, I don't have any money. Like, and she's just like, well, how much is your car worth? And I'm like, I was like, I don't know, like 2.5. I had some like Bombador probably. And
Bombador, best cars
yeah,
ever.
dude, straight up, shout out to Bombadors. Hey, like if you haven't had one, you're not living. And yeah, they were just like, look, this could take a long time. And, she was like, the client I'm, helping right now, like he's already put like 80K into this. And I was just like so disheartened. Like I was like, oh, cool. So I'm losing my daughter. Rad. And I think that's
just because you didn't have the money to fight it.
Yeah, dude. And like you can like
not even fight it, but just work it out via court.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and that was just because like I couldn't put my emotions aside. She can put her emotions aside and behaviors and things like that. So, it was going to be like all out war. And I just, like shout out to any parent right now that is going through all that stuff. Like I feel for you, and, just always remember at the end of the day, it's not about what your wife, what your husband, what your partner did to you. It's about your children. So always take a step back and think about your children and don't weaponize them, because that just messes them up, man, and it's not on.
Fuck yes. Good job. That was a good call. Thank you. Thanks for saying that.
Oh, you're right, man. Like it's just
don't weaponize your children.
Yeah, dude. Like
in that situation.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, well, like I mean,
but do you think it's because just like couples, former couples, just the emotions there, they just don't know how else to handle it?
Like, I mean, I guess, but like, it's all circumstantial to each one. But I can imagine if you loved your partner so much and you did everything for them and they just cheated on you, they were never there, they're never present, they're never focused or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I can imagine the pain and the hush of being like, well, now you're deciding to be a father now, or a parent.
Yeah,
that I'm leaving. It's like, that would kind of hurt.
Yeah, and couples have the right to split up. Like a person has the right to leave a relationship. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, 100%.
But I guess it's just what conduct ensues afterwards. And that's what's important. It's like, yeah, you can leave, but how are you going to conduct yourself now?
Yeah. I think also too, there's a lot of, different things like, if there's domestic violence involved, drug abuse, that type of stuff, like that's a whole nother category. I guess what I'm talking about right now is like, if there's a breakdown in communication and you break up for, whatever reason, not on the extreme scale, just kind of in that like standard, 80% of why we break up, but yeah, dude, it's a wild thing.
But you got through, you survived it.
Yeah, man. Got through it all. I'm still here, man.
Dude, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, like, do you think skateboarding helped you get through it?
Oh, yeah, dude, 100%. Like,
is skateboarding your, like, well, is that like your, what is it? What is it for you?
It's like, you can put everything to the side. Like, nothing else matters except, like, what, it sounds like such a corny, like, cliche thing. I feel like it's like some terrible HBO special I'm about to answer, but it's, I just, like, to me, it just means everything, and it was, like, my outlet, and it was, like, where I fit in. And, people that know me, like, I'm pretty full on. I know I am. And I know I'm like, you know, I put my foot in my mouth all the goddamn time. But, you know, that's who I am. And I love that about myself. But, yeah, skateboarding for me, man, it's just sick. Like the best memories in the world of happiness, solving my problems.
But in the context of family life, being a parent, how were you able to balance your love for that and being a parent?
Well, I actually didn't really learn it till Charlotte was born, you know.
So Charlotte's your
second daughter.
Second daughter.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I didn't really learn it till then. But I guess as a parent, you just kind of adapt. Do you know what I mean? Like, as a parent, you're like 6 hours sleep, dude. I'm on. Let's go. Yeah. Like, you know, like you adapt from having 8 hours sleep, 10 hours sleep when you need it to like you get 6 hours sleep and you're like,
broken sleep.
Yeah. You're just like, yo, dude, like I'm just going to have 20 coffees today because I've got to go to work and I've got to get it done. And yeah, that's sort of how I feel I adapted to it with like balancing skateboarding and friendships and my partner and, you know, all those things. It just sort of, you just do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just wake up and do it.
Because you're not just skateboarding recreationally either. I mean, you do it for the love, but you're also skating at a fairly high level, right?
Oh, thank you.
I mean, I watched you skate yesterday at the Belco Bowl Jam, and I know you said you were slightly injured and you were like taking it easy, but I think you still ollied that double set. Did you ollie that?
Nah, man, no way.
But you did that last year, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you did like a bit of a different trick. Like everyone was trying to do tricks down the double set, but then you did that roll on 50-50.
Yeah.
Backside 180 out. But then you took it, you grinded that thing so long.
Yeah.
Like your backside 180 off literally the highest part of the ledge. It was sick.
Yeah, cheers, dude. Yeah, that was I was just sort of looking at it like, dude, I can't keep up with these young guns like hucking down. I was like, maybe if I just do something like, and I have done that before, like the roll on 50 thing. So I was just like, oh well, I'll do that. Like, you know.
And then there's a crowd of how many people there, you reckon? 200 or 300 people, maybe? Right? 200 people. Yeah, probably like 200 people. Yeah, you want to stick to something a bit like a crowd pleaser. Yeah.
It's just like, this is a little bit creative. Like, I'll go for it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh man, that I don't know his name. I feel really bad, but that guy trying the hard flip down the.
Oh, Justin. Yeah.
Yeah, is he a friend of yours or? Is he from Canberra?
No, he's from Sydney.
Yeah, okay.
But he's just like a young gun and he's killing it,
dude. That this is what I think non-skaters don't understand. That these guys were breaking themselves, and the mental battle that they have and the physical battle that they have for really nothing. Like maybe a little bit of money. Like they might have got. I think he might have got $100 or something.
Yeah,
but it's like, who does that? What other sportsman does that? For it's just pure love, passion.
Yeah. And it's just like such a hit of like dopamine. Like you land it and you're just like, yeah, dude, I landed that trick. And then you like watch it back on the camera and you're like, that's sick. High fiving all your friends and stuff. And then you go home and sit down on your couch and you're just like, all right, what's the next gnarly thing I'm going to do? Like, you full chase it. It's hectic.
It's fleeting, bro. It's so fleeting. It just reminded me of a past guest I had on, Taylor Jensen, who was a 3-time world champion longboarder. I'm not even into longboarding, but he was just a legend of a guy. And he said his whole life he wanted to win a world title. And then he won a world title and he said he got back to his hotel room and he burst in tears and he's like, well, what do I do now with my life? Like, I'm so bored. Oh, I better try and win another world title. And he goes, that'll make everything better. Won a second one. And he said it was the exact same feeling, except worse. Like the satisfaction didn't last any longer. But we chase these moments and we put our body on the line for it, don't we?
Yeah, but I mean, you could probably put that, like, I guess, into life in general, really. You have these, like, little goals and then you have these big goals that you want to reach, So it's like, for example, some people, want to get married and then they want to buy a house and they want to have kids and they want to renovate the house and then they want to, you're basically doing the same thing. You just, ticking the boxes for you. And I think that's something really important that a lot of people need to know is like, you've got to tick your boxes first, before you decide to have children. Because I'm just talking in my regard too. This could be completely different. And if that's what you want to do, like, you do you, boo. I'll support you. That's sick. But for me, I found like, you know, I wouldn't change anything. You know, obviously I would change one thing. But, you know, I guess what, like, you know, talking about today, like, I guess the message I want everyone to take away is like, I have learned the absolute hardest way to be a better person. And it sucks. And I don't want anyone ever to go through it all.
Are you referring though to your relationship breakdown?
Yeah, and like
The first one, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the first one, no. The second one, like, worked through it. It's all gravy now. But like, I mean, I'm going to be pretty vulnerable right now. Like, you're interviewing a dude that's on his second divorce, you know, like, and I'm under 30, and like, people are probably going to rip on me a little bit.
Why?
But like,
why would they rip on you?
I know, man. I've had some people say some like pretty outlandish stuff about that, but
have they looked at the statistics?
No, probably not.
You know, it's actually more common than it's not common.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to speak to people like you, because I kind of want to get to maybe the core of it a little bit. Like there's no one to blame, but why aren't couples staying together more? That's what I want to know. Like, where have what's wrong as a society, and what's wrong with that institution or that structure that doesn't work? And statistically, it doesn't work. And you just referred to like your second marriage didn't work or relationship, but actually statistically, you're more likely to split up the second time than you are the first time. Did you know that?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's hectic.
That's what, so they reckon the separation and divorce rate is higher for the second marriage than the first marriage. So
dang.
So it's actually like in Australia, it's like 48% of first marriages divorce,
dude.
But 60%. And don't quote me exactly, but it's around that. If anyone wants to Google it, I hope you do. It's around 60% of second marriages separate.
Yeah, right.
So, you know, like, I just want to say that to you because, like, please, like, I hope you don't have any apprehension or feel bad about that.
No, it's not that. I think it's just more of the fact that, like, you know, like, obviously we'll dive into the whole, like, you know, losing my daughter thing, but this is like a lovely timeline for everyone listening of what's happened from the age of like 20 to 30. Yeah. So it's like, found out I was going to be a dad, had a baby, pretty much like a shotgun wedding because I thought it was the right thing to do. Divorce not even a year later. Child passes away. Like, death and despair, just horrible stuff for like 4 years that is just wild. Suicidal thoughts, all those things, like just wanting to die every day, like couldn't care if I crashed my motorbike, kind of the reason why I got my motorbike. And then it's like, you know, quit skating, stopped skating, resented skateboarding, hated all my friends that skateboarded, and then got back on the board, found a little bit of happiness, got married, and then, you know, divorce, and then like just back to square one again. Being in this house just on my own, like, dude, this is legit how I felt when I was 20. And that's my timeline in 10 years. That's what I've dealt with in 10 years. And my grandpa passing away too, in between that too. Like, he was the man. He was my everything to me. And he passing away too. He was like the dude. He was the man. And, you know, I dealt with all of that in that past. And when I started my CBT job, Lola was only not here anymore for like 4 months.
So she'd passed 4 months earlier.
Yeah. And then I literally just got a job where I was going to help people, you know, and I thought that was a really good distraction at the time. But the burnout I had after was wild.
Yeah. Because, I mean, helping other people is a great way to get out of your own head. It does work. It's a beautiful thing. But is it good for self-care?
No way,
so
dude.
It wasn't for you?
No, because I think I was just avoiding. You know, I was like, oh, maybe if I help all these people, like, I'll feel better.
Yeah.
Right? And shout out to my dog right now.
It's fine. A bit of back. No, it's fine. No, it's fine. A bit of ambient noise.
Yeah.
Don't worry. It's good, Ryan. You're a legend.
But yeah, so Yeah, I think it was really bad. Like, I remember the day that I realized I needed to, like, quit. I'd just seen, like, a client. Obviously can't talk about it, but it was, like, pretty intense. Yeah. And I was standing in the office on my own, and I started, like, almost kind of, like, had tunnel vision. Like, I was going to black out. And I was like, what is that? And I was, like, shaking, and, like, I just had really gnarly anxiety symptoms. But, you know, we all know people in fields, like, you know, midwives are the worst patients. You know, nurses are the worst patients.
Teachers are the worst students.
Yeah, like, you know, that type. It's so true. Yeah. Not me, but, like, you know, I've got my stuff together. And yeah, and, like, I just remember driving home and I couldn't concentrate, and, like, music was, like, there was too much noise. I was panicking. I was freaking out, and then I couldn't sleep that night. I was like throwing up before going to work.
Yeah,
I was having, like, super gnarly anxiety, and then I was just, like, made this hell hectic decision, like, oh, I'm gonna go do a trade. I'm sick of this, and just full blown rang up a dude and was like, yo, I want to do an apprenticeship. And the dude was like, all right, cool, you start in, like, 3 weeks. I was like, oh, mad.
Were you happier for it though?
Yeah, dude.
See, that's good. Like, I just think you listen to your body and went, okay, this isn't working for me. You know, I think a lot of people don't. Like, I know I've got this tendency to just grind things out, and because I'm too scared of making a change.
Yeah.
You know, but, like, is it good for me? Maybe not. Like,
yeah, I think, you know, also too, like, I had a massive change. My whole world collapsed. So, like, I'm just like, oh, well, this choice, it might be bad, but I'll get through it.
But, dude, like, sorry, I don't know you that well, but I think, like, your success lies in the fact that you survived it. You got through it. Like, you're optimistic. You've got a really good personality. You're happy. You're healthy. You're skating. Like, to me, that's a win.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And it's all circumstantial. And how do you gauge success in this fucking life? I don't know. And that's why I'm doing this podcast. Like, I'm trying to learn about people and what we all suffer from and what we all go through. You know? And I've just realized that it's so circumstantial.
Yeah.
And your circumstances were dealt very hard.
Yeah.
Let's face it. And you survived it. And that's a success to me, you know. And we often talk about, have you ever heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
Nah.
So Maslow talks, I guess, was he a philosopher or a sociologist? Just talks about what a human being needs to self-actualize and be the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
Without the foundations of food and water, shelter, okay, and then I think the next level is, I think, love. Okay, so, and then you start getting into, like, self-realization and identity and stuff like that.
Yep.
And that's when someone really starts to thrive. But they'll never be able to thrive until they have those foundation areas. So, you know, for you, like, things like love was stripped away from you. And, you know, and then maybe if you were in a breakup, you might have been displaced for a while and didn't have stable housing.
Yeah.
And there's so many people in our society who don't have love and they don't have stable housing, or they don't know where the next meal is coming from.
Dude, yeah.
So how are they going to self-actualize and be the best version of themselves and succeed by society's, you know, standards that are set, which are purely based in materialism?
Yeah,
you know,
dude, you see that stuff all the time on Instagram. Like, dudes just writing some cliche, like, you just have to work hard like me.
I fucking hate that.
And there's, like, a picture of, like, a Lambo in the background. It's like, bro, like, you just got lucky. Like, everything, like, you got lucky. You did some day trading, and at the time that happened, like, don't sit there and be like, yeah, bro, if you just work like me, like, you're going to make $1 million. Well, I bet you don't have 3 kids, and I bet you don't, like, work 4 jobs to keep those kids fed, and you're done by the end of the day. How are they supposed to work for another 4 hours? Like, dude, get off your high horse and your Gucci shoes and, like, take a hike, bud. Get off Instagram. Stop ruining people's lives.
Yeah, and the thing is, what I've realised and learned and from other people and myself is that you can lose it just like that.
Yeah, dude.
You know, and it could be like the death of a loved one, could be the catalyst for that, or a breakup. I mean, there's a legion of men in the world who from a bad breakup, lost everything, you know, and some of those men are on the streets homeless, and some of those men have taken their own lives because of the loss was so vast. And, you know, listening to what you're saying, like there's been some heavy loss, you know, and I see it, but I see a successful person.
Thanks, man. No, I appreciate that.
Anyway, I'm going on a rant, but you just sort of triggered something in me.
Sick.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's good, dude. No.
Yeah. So anyway, where were we with your story, bro?
Yeah, no, I think we digress, but hey, that's cool. I'm okay with that. That's how my brain works.
So look, let's just get it out of the way and get it done.
Yep.
Because I think you've put a really good context to it all, but you know, you don't have to go into the details of how it happened, but you lost your first daughter.
Yeah.
When she was the age of around 2.
Yeah, 2.5.
Yeah, and I just, as being a father myself, I can't imagine it. So,
yeah, dude.
Like I said, I see a successful person that you survived an incident like that in your life.
Yeah.
And that trauma would be unimaginable.
Yeah, so basically all that happened was on the Friday I was meant to have her. I didn't get a phone call from her mum all day, right? And you know, in my TED talk, I kind of sort of just gave the brief outline, but I didn't want to go into it too much because it's not about slagging. It was just this is my story, but here, you know, it can kind of be a little bit more personable, more of a person. I don't even know the word right now.
You got it.
But basically, I was meant to get her on the Friday, and I didn't get a phone call at all. And I was just like, this bullshit again, you know, and I was just young, stupid, whatever. And I was sitting at home, and I had nothing. I couldn't get a hold of Lola's mum, nothing. And I was like, what? Anyway, I get this phone call, and I used to ring her every day I didn't have her, right?
Yeah.
And we used to just talk on the phone, just, you know, 2-year-old shit, you know, it's just I can count to 10 and my favorite animal's a bug, you know, and we'd laugh and just make silly noises. It was the best. I loved it. But I didn't call her on those, the 2 nights before she passed away because I was just flat out being an adult, right? And I carry that with me every damn day, dude. I was like, shit, I could have done something, right? And so on the Friday, I'm trying to ring, leave a voicemail. And I was just like, you know, whatever, she'll call me back. I shouldn't be stressing about this. Just, you're getting it over your head, Josh, just relax. And so we're sitting in the house, and I just get this phone call, and I'm raged. I'm looking at it, and I was just like, dude, why is her mum ringing me? What the? Answer the phone. I'm like, yo, what's going on? And they're just she's like, sit down, Josh. And I was like, what? And she's like, sit down. And instantly, dude, I was like, oh, shit. They've been in a car crash or something's happened. And that was where, how crazy is that? That was where your head goes, right? Say, for example, you got a phone call, right? And it was this is grandma, and, you know, I need you to sit down. I need to tell you something. The first thing in your head is not that they died. It's oh, they've been in a car crash, or they've had an accident, they've broken their arm, you know? And that's all I was ready for. I was maybe, you know, Lola's had a complication with something and she's in hospital. So I was getting ready for that. She's like, sit down. And I was like, all right. I sat down and I was like, just, you know, fucking tell me. I was getting really frustrated. And then she's just Lola got into the next door neighbor's pool and drowned. And I was just like, what? Dude, I can't even time, fucking stood still, dude. I will never, ever, ever forget that moment. Just being what the fuck? And I'm like, all right. And so I just got in the car and with my partner and pinned it, hauled ass to Goulburn. And we're talking and trying to comprehend what the fuck just happened. I'm like, my daughter's fucking dead. What? And I didn't cry. I was in that much fucking shock. And I get to the police station and I walk in there and I'm like, yo, I'm the fucking dad. And the worst part was, this is the thing that I didn't talk about in my TED talk because that wasn't the time. Those police officers, she passed away at 10:30 in the morning, dude. And I got the fucking phone call at 8:30 at night. And so I walked into that police station and I was ready to fuck someone up, man. I was just how dare? You guys couldn't find me, yet if I was a piece of shit stealing cars and like dealing drugs, you'd find me in 10 minutes. Like, how dare you? Like, and they just like were judging me, looking at me like, I was like, dude, you don't even know me. Like, oh, dude, like, you know, even talking about it now, like I would rage. Like, it took someone 12 hours to contact me, or 10 hours, sorry, about my daughter passing away, right? I went through my whole entire day, dude, at work, waiting for her to come around, and no one could get a hold of me. No one could get a hold of my partner. No one could get, like, are you joking? You know what I mean? And my, like, parents found out before me. My cousin found out before me. So many other people found out before me, but no one wanted to ring me because I understand that's a pretty intense thing. Me as the father was the last person to find out. Like, that is hard. Yeah, it's cooked, man. So, like, yeah, she drowned, and like, there was, dude, the gnarliest experience. Like, I barely slept that night. I was, you know, had a few drinks, I guess. I can definitely tell you that. And, you know, and it's like organizing a funeral. Like, I had to organize a funeral, and like, you know, like, what? Are you joking? Like, that was the thing. It was literally like, she passed away, and it was like, I rang my, and do you know how awkward it was ringing my boss? Just, hey, dude, I'm not coming in for a couple of weeks. Oh, hey, what, you know, what, is everything all right? Yeah, man, my daughter passed away. Oh, right. Yeah, okay. Like, just call us when you want to come back, and just hung up the phone. And like, I'm not mad at him. Like, dude, that's a pretty hectic phone conversation at 7:00 in the morning on a Saturday.
Yeah. Because did you start to have feelings of, did it make you feel isolated in the fact that because it is such a gnarly situation and a gnarly thing to happen, that people were just probably just didn't have the tools on how to actually approach you, so they avoided you? Did that happen?
So it was just more like my phone was going off for like a long time.
Okay.
And
so friends were reaching out. And,
yeah. But they just, you know, it got to the point where I was like, just don't fucking ring me. Okay. Like, what, you're just going to say, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, and, you know, and I'm talking about it like I'm angry. And it's not that I was angry at anyone, but in the situation, I was like, dude, don't ring me and just say like, oh, I'm sorry for your loss. Like, I don't want to hear that. No. Like, just don't ring me. Let me do my thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It almost became stressful. You know, and then, you know, there was that whole thing of just like, why didn't I save her? Why I could have, like, you know, I could have been a better dad, right? And like, I hold that shit every day, dude. Like, I hold it forever. And it doesn't matter how many people say like, you couldn't do anything. It's like, yeah, but you're saying that. And you know, really, I couldn't do anything, but that's not going to change how I feel. For the rest of my life, I'm going to wake up and be like, why didn't I be better? Why? And, you know, and then I sat there and thought about all the times that, like, I was an asshole dad. I was, you know, I would rather go skateboarding. I'd rather not cuddle her goodnight or be there when she's frustrated, you know? Like, my first child, like, I was the shittest dad, straight up. And that pain.
I don't know. To hear you say that you were the shittest dad, like, I don't know.
I could have been better, maybe.
Yeah, but I think, can't we all?
Yeah, dude,
you know,
straight up.
And it's like you were 20 years old, bro. Like,
yeah,
I hope you're not being too hard on yourself. Like,
I probably am.
Yeah, you are. Like, I mean, like, you know, I mean, when I was 20, dude, like, I could barely cook friggin' rice on the stove to make myself dinner, you know.
Yeah, shout out 2-minute noodles.
2-minute noodles, like, let alone, like, raise a child. So, yeah, I hope you're kind to yourself there. You know?
I think, yeah, like now.
I think what I like about you, Josh, is that you made this decision to learn from what you could do better and what maybe, I don't like to call them mistakes, but,
yeah,
you know, how you could have done stuff differently.
Yeah, and I think, like, you know, like I, you know, organized her funeral and stuff like that, and that was like really intense, and there was a lot of fighting back and forth about that stuff, but this is like, you know, pretty intense too, talking about this, but so I actually like went and viewed her before we buried, and that was gnarly. That was the longest, shortest hour of my life sitting in that room with her. And like, you know, I really needed that.
Yeah. Closure?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
100%.
Yeah, dude. I guess I want to just delve into, so what have you done in the years after in terms of supporting yourself mentally? Like what strategies did you use? Did you go and seek, you know, therapy or counselling or?
Yeah, so basically the first like 2-3 years after that, I like, you know, got really angry at my friends, you know, for no reason at all.
Yeah.
I got angry at them, resented skateboarding. I remember I rang Folklore and I told them. And
Which is your board sponsor?
Yeah. Shout out to these guys because they've had my back, and this will make some sense once I tell the story. I rang them and was just like, yeah, this is what happened. My daughter passed away. And I was like, I'm done. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm out.
Yeah.
And they, every like, probably like 8 or 9 months, they just would send me like 1 or 2 boards.
Oh, sweet.
They were just like, there you go. And after like 2-3 years, I remember like being like, yo, I want to get back into skateboarding. And I could like barely kickflip. And I was like, I mean, maybe I could hit them up.
Yeah.
You know? And so I was just like, yo, what's up? I haven't talked to you guys in a while. I'm really enjoying skateboarding again. I wonder if like we could get something going. I understand if we can't. And like, dude, they've had my back. And so have Trilogy. Like Trilogy's had my back. They have seen, Trilogy and Folklore have seen me go from the young, hyperactive ADHD kid to who I am today, which is just a hyperactive ADHD adult. But they have been there for me, like Folklore without a doubt, like especially Dave too. Like I remember when I went into Dave and was just like, yeah, I'm going to start skating again. I'm going to buy a new setup. And that was before I hit Folklore up.
Yeah.
And they were just like, okay,
cool.
Whatever you need, we got you. And when I rang Folklore and was like, I want to do this, they were just like, yeah, dude, 100%.
Sick.
And like that is a wild thing to think about. Hence why I love them to death. Because, dude, straight up, like the team manager, like Paddy Gemzik, and if people who are skating on here, like are listening here, sorry, like he's the G'est dude in the world. He is the most amazing human being in the world, and I love him. And I remember he rang me and like was like, yo, like, you know, let's get some boards going, you know, let's do this stuff. And I was just like, dude, this is like my favorite Australian skateboarder. And he like is talking to me. Oh my God. And now we're like best buds.
Sick,
it's like crazy.
Man.
I love it.
Dude, it's right. And like while we're talking about your sponsors, I noticed you picked up a new shoe sponsor.
Yeah. Hyped.
That's so rad. How'd you score that?
So I just like kind of the guy that's running the distribution in Australia. He gave me my first board sponsor when I was like 16. And I just basically was like, you know, just sent a cheeky email like, hey dude, do you remember me? Like I was 16, blah, blah, blah. And then he like didn't get back to me for ages. And I was just like, I gave it a shot, but I'm just going to buy fallen shoes anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
And I hit him back. And I sent him another email because I was like, yo dude, I'm going to make this happen. Like, I don't care. And he was just like, hey dude, like I remember you. And we started talking, building that rapport. And I was just like, yo dude, like I want to get on fallen. Like I want it.
Yeah.
And he was just like, oh, dude, like right now we're just like sort of starting up, but like I can give you shoes like at a like, you know, discounted rate, send you some free stuff when we can. And I was like, cool. Like, let's get it. And anyway, just like grinding, you know, like just getting it done, like, you know, and every now and again, you know, just like buying shoes and like doing that stuff, but like heavy discounted rate and stuff. And I was just like, I'm going to stick this out to the end. Like I don't, like I'm riding this out. Even if I don't get hooked up, like I just want to ride fallen shoes because like, I love them.
You like them.
And anyway, yeah. So, you know, lots of talking, all that type of stuff. And then I got announced on like, where was I? was like a real bad reception, so it would have been like a Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. Steve McInnes, who's been helping me out with that too. So shout out to Steve and happy birthday today, dude. He basically was just like, yo, fallen. And I was just like, what? And he's like, haven't you seen the post yet? And I was like, what post, dude? I've got no internet where I am. And he's just like, oh my God,
You're on.
I'm so sorry, I just ruined your surprise. Because they posted it to like surprise me. So yeah, it was pretty funny.
That's rad.
Yeah, dude, it was hectic. So yeah, I'm pretty juiced on that, like riding for Fallen. And if anyone knows me when I was a kid, it was like all I wore from the age of like 14 to 18 when they went under like the first time. So
Because what advice would you give to young kids who want to get sponsored? Like, do you advise them to hit sponsors up and go, hey, I'm keen, or
I guess it's changed so much with like Instagram because you got your stuff there. It's really easy to contact anyone, right? In this day and age,
they can check you out. It's like sponsor me tapes.
Almost, yeah, dude. Like
your profile could be like one big sponsor me tape, really.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, but I guess in that regard, I would just more say like, I don't know, like just skate. That stuff will come to you. You know what I mean? Like right now, just have fun and like do it and just skate with your friends and have fun. And some of the raddest skate videos I've ever watched in my entire life that have got me psyched up to skate are like homie videos from like, Europe and like America, or like some random homie vid in like Perth or something like that. That type of stuff gets me so juiced up because like, like Baker 3 is like the epitome of that. Yeah. Like I love that movie.
So sick.
Yeah, sick. Ugh.
Or Baker 2G.
Baker 2G goes too. Yeah, but my favorite one of all time is like Dying to Live. Like, but obviously for reasons. Like I'm obsessed. Like I love.
Does Chris Cole still write for Fallen?
Yeah, dude, he just got back on actually. I'm wearing his shoes right. Oh no, I was wearing his shoes and I changed them.
Sure, because I wasn't sure if he dropped off or.
He did. So he went to DC, I think, and then just sounding like fanboy right here.
Chris Cole rules though. Let's face it,
dude. Straight up, I don't care how lame it sounds, dude. That dude's the best. Like,
dude, I fan out all the time.
Yeah, straight up.
It's all about fanning out.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Like, there's times and places for it, obviously. Like, hey, dude, like, just so you know, like, I'm not, like, creepy stalker or anything. Just want to clarify that. But, no, dude, like, I think when I think in this day and age, like, especially with, I guess, like, skateboarding in that regard, is, like, being cool and like not saying anything is like kind of like going away now, and like kind of being open and honest and having like and telling people that they're hey dude, like you're awesome, or like hey dude, I think you're rad. Like I think that's actually like kind of becoming normal now.
I've noticed it,
and that's sick, dude.
When I say I've noticed it, it's because I do it to people.
Yeah. Oh, dude, there is no skateboarder on this earth, and like I would bet so much money on it. Every skateboarder in this world, they could act as cool as they wanted, but the moment their favorite person that they idolize walked up to them and said hello, there is no way that they wouldn't fan out. Yeah. Like, change my mind straight up.
That's cool. No, I agree. I so agree. Now, I do see a shift in skating. Even at the Belco Bowl Jam yesterday, like, there was less. Yeah, I just found everyone's very open and friendly, and I didn't really feel like there was too much of a cool vibe. People weren't, closed off. But my memories of those big skate comps was that it could get a little bit like vibey sometimes if you're not in the right crew, and you could feel like an outsider. But I think skating's really opening up. It's
for everyone. That's the best part about it. But unfortunately,
way more inclusive.
Yeah, but the problem is when it is for everyone, and it should be. Unfortunately, when you invite everyone in, but with any sport, any activity, hobby, whatever you do, there's always going to be like cliques and gatekeepers
gatekeepers.
People, gatekeepers that don't want anything to change. You know what I mean? Like, there was that whole thing with the independent, like the Iron Cross thing, and they changed the logo. Which is sick that they did that. That's amazing. You know what I mean? Like, it's sick they were just like, yep, cool. Like, we're changing this, right? And there was just so many people that were like so like up in arms about it. And it's just like, dude, like, it is what it is, man. Like, just get on board with it, roll with it. Like, if you don't have something, like, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all. Okay? Like, it's that simple. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a firm believer in that. Like, you know, yeah, like, you have your space with your friends that you can say how you feel.
Yeah.
You know, but like, generally in general, like, just don't say mean stuff. Like, just high five rad times, guys. Come on.
Dude, that's almost like a good way to end, actually. High five good times.
Yeah, dude, straight up.
Yeah, dude. Like, and like, you know, and I do want to start winding it up, but it's like,
Yeah.
You said it at the start, like it's all about being in the present moment.
Yeah, dude.
You know, and I really do believe, like, no matter how gnarly your past has been, you know, like, if you just keep bringing, or even your present or things that are going on in your life, know how much full on they are. If you just keep bringing yourself back to the present moment, you just can cope better.
Yeah.
You can just cope with life better because you don't have to worry about what happened 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't have to worry about what's going to happen in 5 minutes' time. Like,
Yeah, dude.
stay in the moment. It's okay. Like, you're actually okay.
Yeah, dude, like, to, you know, pretty much, I guess, like, you know, sum it up is like, you know, be kind, you know, have some humility, like, you know, empathize with people, listen, like, actually listen. Don't listen for the sake of listening, and don't listen to respond. You know, it's, you know, that's, you got to listen, empathize, and like really sort of be like, okay, this is a problem. How are we going to deal with it? Because that's like the biggest thing too. It's not, if you have an issue, like, you know, say for example, you and me had an issue, right? I don't know, you're like pissed off at me because I said something, whatever, right? The problem is between you and me. It's not between you, me, and your 10 friends that you're going to talk to about. It's not you and me and the dude you're going to post on Facebook about, whatever. Like, the problem is between you two, like two people, and you have to sit there and talk about it. And it sucks sometimes, but it's so important, because if you know, like with the whole, like, I guess we were talking before about the, you know, like rates of divorce and rates of splitting up and all that type of stuff. It's like, upon reflection with me, the biggest thing I found is like, when the problem, like when you get to the breakup stage, that's like the fork in the road, right? But there are like 30, 40 other different bumps before you get to that point. You need to talk about those bumps before you get to the fork in the road, right?
Gotcha.
And that's, I reckon that's a big thing. And that goes with friends, family.
So you're sort of saying if you're not having those uncomfortable conversations, then all of a sudden you find yourself at the fork in the road, but you need to be constantly communicating.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. I agree. And I think, I mean, I know I'm not great at it, and I wasn't in relationships, but yeah, I think a lot of dudes struggle with that. I feel like, and we avoid uncomfortable conversations because it's hard. It's a pain in the ass. Like, you don't want to have to do it, but it's so important.
And the biggest thing that I want to say too in this is, like, we've talked a lot about, you know, like men, like, copying it, you know, like, I guess in the family court laws and stuff like that. But the thing, I mean, not in that regard, but I just want to really let everyone know that, like, straight up, like, if you're in a violent relationship, whether you're a female, a male, you know, whatever, person, whatever, like, you don't deserve it. Like, you do not deserve that, no matter how many times they tell you, no matter how many whatever, and you are so much stronger than you think you are. And when you take that leap, you take that beautiful leap and leave, like, you're amazing. And so anyone that's going through this right now, anyone that's homeless, anyone that's like dealing with all this stuff, like, you are so strong and you are a beautiful person and you're doing the right thing. And like, it will get better. Yes. I promise you.
Yes, brother.
Yeah.
Nice. That's good. That's a good call. That's a good call. Now, listen, brother. I ask all guests to come to the podcast with a cause they want to support or advocate for. So, what do you got for us today? So,
the one that I've picked is Tura Women's Inc. And the reason that is
what's it called?
Tura. I'm probably.
How do you spell that?
Toora.
Oh, okay.
I've probably really mispronounced that. I'm so bad with that stuff.
No, that's all right.
So sorry.
Tura.
Yep.
Yeah, so what is it?
So they're just a non-for-profit organisation, and they've been delivering gender-specific services to women in the ACT and surrounding since 1982.
Yeah.
And their mission statement is safety, respect, and choice for women. It's basically, that's their goal. And I think that's my biggest thing. Like, if you guys after this go listen to my like TED Talk, like that's sort of what it's about. My journey as a father and being better and talking about how to stop domestic violence. Like, we need to look at it differently, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think we need to shed light on it. I mean, it's uncomfortable to talk about for a lot of dudes.
Straight up.
And women. Like, I mean, it's hard for everyone. But let's get the conversation out on the table, because I think once you start raising awareness and exposing it, it seems to, that's progress. That's when the healing starts to happen. That's when the change starts.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion. So that's why I love these conversations so much.
Yeah. And, one last thing too. Tell your male friends that you love them and hug them straight up. Do it.
Yes, dude, I'm hitting you up for a hug after this.
Dude, straight up facts, dude. I'm always about it.
And Ryan's here filming.
Yeah, dude, we got hugs going.
I hug Ryan all the time. Actually.
Yeah, dude, I'm all about it. Literally, every time
he doesn't hug me back, but that's okay, Ryan. I love you.
It's a work in progress.
Actually, it's funny. I've got a friend who I've grown up with since I was 11, and he's done a lot for me. Like, and he's always there for me, But he always seems to be supporting me. I never do jack shit for him.
Yeah.
But I say, I love you, man. I love you. And he'll never ever say it back, and he won't let me hug him or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I'm going to cry, actually. And I said to him the other day, he did something for me that I really needed help with. And I said, oh, man, I love you, man. I really love you. And I said, you don't have to say it back to me, He goes, I said, but I'd appreciate it one day.
Yeah.
And he just looks at me and goes, my actions speak louder than words, and then walked off.
Oh, dude, that's some badass
like,
Hollywood
gangster. You do love me, But couldn't say it,
Yeah.
But I just think, even hearing you say that, like, I speak to a lot of dudes now, and I'm speaking to a lot of people, a lot of men who talk about being open, speaking about their feelings, telling friends they love them. Like, I think the culture's changing. Like,
yeah, dude.
I really think it is, man.
Yeah.
Like, dudes are getting, they're getting more open.
Yeah.
Yes.
And dude, straight up, like, I love, dude, it's the best, Like,
and a lot of dudes for women, for the right, for the rights of women and supporting women. I think dudes genuinely want that, and we are aware of the statistics around domestic violence, and men are predominantly the perpetrators. There's no questioning of that statistic, But I think conversely, that men are also very disadvantaged in our society, and that needs to also be, remembered as well. You got to remember that men have the highest morbidity rates. We have the highest suicide rates. We have the highest rates of homelessness. We have the highest rates of incarceration. Okay, our life expectancy is significantly less than women. So we're all struggling here, and I just think we need to be working together, not against each other. And I just love it when men are advocating for women, and women are advocating for men. Like, let's change it.
Yeah, dude, straight up. Like, I talk about it a lot, like Charlotte being my second chance. I talk about it as rad.
Dude.
It's so rad.
Redemption.
Yeah, dude. And it's just like, I'm going to be the best I can be. And the craziest thing that I think about so much is, like, I want her to grow up to be a strong woman, right? And, I want to have such an open dialogue with her. And this is like, I'm talking to all the males right now, like, straight up. Like, whenever you're with your daughter, whenever you're hanging out, just think about this every single day. If my daughter dated someone like me, would I be happy? Right? Because that's only something that you can change, right? That's straight up. So you are responsible. You are so responsible for your behavior and how you act, because your daughter is, like, she's going to love you first. You're going to be the first man that she loves. And you have a responsibility to show what the correct male behavior is, right? And if you don't, like, you need to sit down, take a hard look at yourself, because that's your job, right?
Yeah, man.
And if you're, like, straight up, if my daughter, in 15 years or 5 years, 10, whatever, comes into the house and just goes, Yeah, this is my girlfriend. All right, cool. Whatever. That's my goal. I want my goal to be that we don't even have to have some uncomfortable conversation. You know, she can just come up to me and be like, you know, Dad, like I've been thinking about these things and I want, you know, I am a boy, right? I would not want her to ever think that I'm going to judge her. I'm just going to be like, all right, well, cool. What do we need to do?
Yeah.
Like, sick. Let's go. We got whatever's got to happen. And I think that's where it all lies, right? Yeah, men are going through the whole, like, you know, we have higher incarceration rates, we have higher suicide and all that stuff. But if we make the change and start talking about feelings and start talking about saying to your friends, I love you, being a better role model as a parent, if we do all this stuff, it's the ripple effect, man. Straight up.
It's going to change culture, and then and you know what? We might not see the change in our lifetime. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like in our society where we want to see instant results.
Yeah.
We just have to accept that we're not going to see instant results, but we are doing it for our children and then their children, and you know what I mean? So that's where it's important.
Yeah, dude, drop in the ocean. Drop in the ocean. Yeah, drop in the ocean.
But like I think I'm old enough now to see cultural shifts.
Yeah, bro.
And so like it's made me realize that you can change culture.
Yeah, man.
And it's happening. And it's happening in skateboarding.
Yeah, dude.
You know, with the cultural shift. Like, you know here's one. I seen a transgender skateboarder at Belco skate park the other day, like yesterday.
Yeah.
Skating in a skirt. Yeah, I mean, I get uncomfortable. I don't know how to say the right terminology because I don't want to offend anyone. But definitely a transgender skateboarder. Now, there was no problems there. I mean, but honestly, when I grew up skating in the 90s, you know, like a transgender skateboarder at the skate park, that's going to raise eyebrows. That was going to turn heads.
Yeah.
But no one even batted an eyelid. And I was like, this is rad.
Yeah.
This is inclusivity.
Yeah, like they can come down on the park and they can be themselves. And who knows, that might be their only safe space. And like, how sick is that? You know, like skateboarding went from like being a deviant, mischievous, you know, out of control person to like this rad community vibe thing. And I think that's so important. And, you know, with that whole thing we were just talking before about the shift, like we put in the work now and it will move forward. But I really reckon, you know, if we all just say I love you, talk about your feelings, and be vulnerable, guys. It's hard, but the more you do it, the easier it gets, and that is important. So, like, straight up, tell your friends you love them, and also,
I'm ready.
The one thing you can do with your kid too, if you haven't said I love you to them in 10 years, just give them a hug, ask them how their day was. Just do it. One small step. But that's me anyway. That's just I could go on about it for hours. But anyway,
I can't not say it. I say it too much. It annoys them. Like they tell me to say it. But I don't care. Yeah. Listen, we digress again. Yeah. Now listen, if you scroll down in this episode, you'll find a link to the cause that Josh is advocating for, which is the Tura Foundation for Women. So jump on the website, have a look at it. You know, see how you can, you know, support or be involved. And, there's another opportunity to be of service to the community. So that's why I have come with a cause on this podcast. So giving listeners, you know, a vast array of opportunities to link with ways they can be of service to the world. And like Josh said earlier, when you're helping others or being of service in some way, it's just where the good feelings are. Mm-hmm. It's like a little life hack. Yeah, so, and everyone wins. So get on, check it out. And you can find this episode on terriblehappytalks.com. And whatever your preferred listening platform is, it always helps if you subscribe and leave a review. It helps with the algorithm apparently, but you know, I don't even care about the algorithm shit. Just I'm grateful you're listening and thanks very much. So keep coming back. And that's it, man. I think we're done.
Sweet, dude.
I've got some stickers for you. I'm getting new T-shirts made, actually. I'm doing a collab with Kane Horseball, who's the street artist known as Trait.
Yep.
And one of his designs, we're collabing on a T-shirt design, and all profits raised will go to flood-affected areas in Lismore.
Sick.
So I might send you a T-shirt when we get them.
Yeah, dude. I'm always down for stickers.
Sorted.
You know how it is.
Stickers.
Skateboarding currency.
All right, man. And a big thank you and a big shout out to Ryan Grant, who I've just spent the weekend with at the Belco Bowl Jam, and he's come and he's filmed this episode. So thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, dude.
Love
Thanks
you,
for sitting
Love
on
you,
my
man. Love you,
carpet.
Ryan. You don't have to say it back. Did you say it? Yes. No, say it again.
I love you, Shannon.
I hear that. See
There
that?
it is. Changed. I love it. I love it.
You.